So I just wanted to do a little bit of a demo on how to create a perfect loop, which is to say a loop that loops endlessly and seamlessly without necessarily having any kind of crossfading going on between them. So I'm just going to use this track right here. So this is an ambient music track that I bounced down from these tracks. So a series of various things going on here. And I want this, this source is it's almost 3 minutes long, and it's an ambient loop that I want to play in the back of a mobile game. And so of course 3 minutes is much too long. So I just need to pick a section of this. I mean, this whole thing is just sort of a series of various instruments and drones moving together. So I'm just going to pick a section of this that I like that's a little bit shorter. And just sort of using the waveforms as a guide, I'm going to go like this and sort of pick this at random. Now when you're making a loop, what's really important is that you kind of match the in and out point of the size of the waveform, because the next step, this is just over a minute, that should be good. The next step is actually duplicating this, and I've done that there with Command D, and just going in and doing a crossfade like that. Listen to that and see how it sounds. So that's a really nice crossfade. That's very smooth. So that's going to work. Now you may have noticed that when I did that duplication, I used Command D, and that's really important actually, because it's very important for this particular technique that you're sample accurate, that they line up right exactly. Because if one of these loops is slightly different length than the other, this technique's not going to work. You'll see what I mean in a moment. So let me reinstate that crossfade. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight this region, and I'm going to bounce that highlighted region down one using the colon key. And then I'm going to use Option Command G to create a region group. So this isn't actually a real clip. It's just there as a reference. Basically, this is the exact length of this clip. And that's important because I'm going to slide this over, and this is going to represent the length and also the beginning and end point of the loop. So I just want to point something out, if you haven't figured it out already. Because these are exact lengths, because this is the exact same length as this is the exact same length as this, what this does is whatever point I mark it on here, say, find a nice in-out point right there. So I'm looking for a place where the waveform is sitting at 0 in both channels. So what that means is that here, in fact, this is the exact same point on the waveform as this. Because these waveforms are in fact exactly the same, it's the identical position. So what that means is now I can highlight this, bounce that highlighted area back up here, copy, find a new place on the timeline, paste, and now what I have here is that this wave starts in the exact following sample of where this one ends. So in fact, doing nothing else, I could already loop this completely without having any kind of clip. Now rather than make you listen to this whole thing, I'll demonstrate that with a really small section here, just to let you hear it without forcing you to listen to all of that. Let's see, like that. So again, paste, duplicate, crossfade, bring that selection down, create a region group, start it off at a 0 crossing point, bring the selection back up using the P key, copy, paste, and there's the loop. Absolutely seamless with no fades. So this works with really any kind of ambient or fairly static sound. So this is great for wind, this is great for oceans, this is great for leaves and trees, and really sort of anything that's not too obviously going to be loopy. If you're doing something with wind or any kind of ambient noise and there's something specific like a crow caw or something in there, you might want to edit that out first because people are going to notice that looping. So finishing off, what I like to do at the very end is I go in really close as Pro Tools will allow me, and I create a little micro fade. This is 4 samples, I think, long, and on the other end as well. This is just so that the system doesn't choke. It's basically just a fail-safe. And then I will consolidate that and rename it whatever I want. Say we'll call this loop drone. And then I will export it. Put it wherever I want. Export it. And there you go. Okay, so this is a more advanced example of how to do a perfect loop. I'll just play this little region back here. Okay, so I've actually not tried to loop this before. You can hear there's a lot going on there. This is a drone that has a lot of frequencies sitting in it. I think it sounds like this. Yeah. And I've burned a series of 3 frequency sweeps into it. So this was the previous level, and this is the final result. And I want to loop this. And because there's different frequency sweeps, like you can hear the loops ending at different points. Right, so this is going to be really tricky to loop naturally, and that's what I'm going to try and do. So first of all, I need handles, but it looks like probably my most useful area is going to be right here. It's fairly clean, complete waveform. So actually I'm going to take this whole thing and move into a clean workspace over here. And then I'm going to cut that out. Paste. Okay. Let's just hear how that loops just like that. Well, this leads into that so well. I wonder if I could borrow it. I think that might work. Okay, that'll be good. Okay, so now that we've got the loop close, we know what we want. Now we can use the technique that I was talking about before. So I'm going to take this, Command D to duplicate, go into the middle, crossfade, grab this whole section. Oops, I need to put so I'm just going to grab this whole section, bring it down with the colon key, Option Command G, slide that over, and let's see, what would be a good place to put it? We want to make sure that this is sitting somewhere within the loop. This might be a good place somewhere in here. Oh, there's some really nice distinct waveforms there, so it'll be easy to find a 0 crossing point. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with right there. That'll do. Okay. Let's see how it sounds. So there is an advanced example of how to use this technique to make a perfect loop. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, please do feel free to throw a comment down there, or you can email me at framing.noise@gmail.com, or you can find me on my website, www.framingnoise.com. Hope to hear from you.